We have Chris joining us once again for Meet the Devs episode 27. And today's a special one. We are, as you can see, we are talking about the upcoming season. Season 3 begins very, very soon. We had season 2 was pretty short, and that's because we wanted to get season 3 in your guys' hands ASAP. There's some cool things, and I think you guys are gonna like it. So yeah, Chris, just you announce, you go. What do we have for season 3?
Yeah. So today we're just going to talk about what we're. We've talked about this in the past, what we're adding to the patch, but we'll just go over that. And then, but first, we wanted to share because we do these like little season trailers each time, and so we wanted to share this trailer that we just finished a few days ago. And so yeah, Andre, do you want to show that first?
Yeah,
because it kind of goes over everything in the content.
Spoilers.
One thing in the trailer too is since we didn't market season 2, there are some things from season 2 mixed in there because it'll be new to some people. So go ahead, Andre.
I hope you guys can hear this. We haven't tested if sound works, but I think it's good. All right, there it is. And people are saying 90% leaderboard, 90% rogue incoming, 90% of the player base are going to be just rogues. Yeah, it looks pretty crazy. We kept this hidden for a long time, but have fun soon.
Yeah, it was a tricky weapon to build, that one. It's a fun idea, and maybe we can do like a little demo of it later. But we'll talk about it a little bit in the deck. So you can move over to the next slide, I think. Yeah, one thing I did want to talk about before we go into the season was we did these class retrospectives in the past for all the different classes, and so we didn't do wizard yet, and so there's some. So as you remember, when we would talk about each of the different classes, is just some stuff that we have priorities on our end that we're working on that's upcoming for the wizard, that some of our focus is where our focus is at. And in general, we do, we're pretty happy with the wizard. There's some stuff we're going to still keep tuning with some of the perks and some of the abilities. In general, he needs a bit more abilities, a few more abilities, so we're working on those. And we're adding his third set into this patch, which is kind of like more of a frost theme set. So, and that's what you could see there, that image. So I think it's called Everfrost is the set name.
Everfrost.
So yeah, that will be in the patch as well in this season, in this patch the next week. And yeah, we're working on some new abilities, and then his third weapon. So now we have the rogue's third weapon. He's kind of complete there. The last remaining weapon for our current class is the wizard. He only has 2 right. So our third weapon will be, and we'll unveil and talk about this one in the future, but it will be more of a lightning themed weapon. So I'm curious if people can guess what that will. I think someone actually did guess the scorpion tail, or they guessed like what type of weapon it was.
Someone did.
So yeah, let's see if the community can kind of guess what that's going to be. So in the Q&A today, happy to answer any kind of questions that focus on the wizard in general, for sure. So anyway, just want to get that out of the way too before we start. All right, go ahead, Andre.
There it is.
Yeah, so what are we focusing on with season three? Season two, what we focused on was we wanted to add the monetization to campaigns in the game, get some feedback on that system and on the monetization in general. And we that was like one of the biggest things. And then also Goldbrook, the PvE mode, we wanted to get some feedback on that as well. And so that all these things kind of went pretty well. I realized in season two we didn't have a lot of stuff for our core community who's been with us since, you know, pre-alpha or something like that. And so this patch will actually add the arena, like a new experience that I think can be for everybody, but in particular really good for people who've been playing the game for a long time. I know the weekend arena modes are really exciting for folks, so we're adding that this patch. We're tuning progression to be a bit more accessible. This will be ongoing during the season. And I'll talk about this later, but it's one of our priorities for this season to do a lot more patches throughout, so we can fine tune the game for the Gold Master release. And then we're adding the arena also to kind of help us fine tune class balance in the next several months. So yeah, and then a big thing that soaked up so much time on for the company basically was upgrading the engine to 5.6. This is important for us to be able to ship the game to console for the Gold Master, and kind of was more work than we anticipated. So that kind of was a time sink there, but it is a big milestone, and long term it will kind of help us with performance and a lot of other various different things. So we're happy that we're done with that mostly. Yeah. Okay, you can move to the next slide. Yeah, so the new arena that we're calling Circle of Blood it will have 3 different modes that will rotate, and so we can massage this and change this. We're open to feedback, but we're going to be rotating the modes every couple hours or so, and just to kind of see what kind of mode people like, and so that we know just to get feedback there. So it will rotate modes, so 1v1, 2v2, 3v3 will all be available in it. And wins in the arena will increment your score, which you could track on the new leaderboard feature, which is the next feature that we have. You know, the arena is a labor of love. We've gotten a lot of good feedback internally with it and externally, and some of the folks in the community have seen it, and so I'm really happy with it. We spent a lot of time. There's a really cool new UI art that's in it as well that Cole and the team worked on, and how it works as well is there's 3 rounds. I think it's 3. How many rounds is it? It's like you have to win.
It's best of 3.
Best of 3. Yeah, so you get these like little quick fast matches, which is really fun. You can kind of test your skill, but also just test like how to play that class and that kit and stuff really easily and effectively in there. And you don't lose your items if you die in it right now, but we're open to adding like other different modes in the future. Like the community has had ideas of like, what if you could wager some gear or like bet on wins or something. I think these are really fun ideas that we want to explore into the future. But yeah, so the arena, really excited for the community to test this. All right, Andre, you can move to the next slide. Yeah, and the Scorpion Tail weapon, we're adding to the patch. Again, this is something that we spent a lot of time doing. It's really like a mid-range weapon for the rogue. Of course, like the rogue was very, and it's intentional that it's a melee class, so it's like very close-quartered. But we wanted to explore and kind of break this rule a little bit with more of a mid-range weapon. So it has like a poke to it. You can apply your afflictions really effectively. So whatever your claw affliction is, you can kind of poke using the Scorpion Tail to also apply that affliction from ranged. And it syncs with your claw affliction, which is kind of fun. And then it has like these pseudo aerials, and maybe Andre could show you later, but it's not a true aerial. Like the game doesn't have, it's not Devil May Cry really, but it has it's a little taste of it. Actually, I think we executed on it further than I imagined we would, so it came out pretty cool. And it kind of something we've been hearing and feedback and playtesting is it kind of has a different vibe than the other weapons where they're kind of more stealthy and ambush, where this is in kind of poke and retreat and that kind of thing, whereas this weapon is really kind of rewards aggressive gameplay. But yeah, we'll demo it and then Andre could talk through it there too, perhaps.
All right.
Anything else you want to add there, Andre?
I mean, if I'm gonna demo it, I'll just talk more then. But yeah, it's basically what you said. Weapons not as stealthy. It's more bombastic. It's more mid-range. It's a lot of poke.
Yeah.
It, it's not as much damage when you just stand toe to toe, but it has moments in the gameplay that absolutely deal like crazy damage. You'll see. You'll see. I think you'll like it.
Yeah. Okay, so leaderboards are coming online in this patch too. So just like all things during early access, we're unrolling it slowly over time. So there's going to be 2 leaderboards that we're going to have available, which is one that I call Hall of Fortune, which essentially is every time you extract, it will add up all of the items and gear and everything that you had in your bags when you extracted, including glints or treasures that have a glint price, and add those up in a formula, and then that's your score for the end of the match, and then that will be on the leaderboard. So that's one leaderboard, and then the second one is like the Arena Champion one, which is essentially you get a score every time you play Arena if you win, and that increments on that leaderboard. And you can also drill into all, or you could do 2v2 or 3v3 or 1v1. So yeah, there's a leaderboard feature too. Okay, now you can move on. Another thing that we've added as well, so there's a bunch of other little small things in here, maybe not so small, is that we updated the city UI. The city UI, right, is like where you go to navigate the vendors. There's the vendor switcher. But we now have like more of an immersive city UI in there that you can navigate to, and you can kind of see the vendors' deals that they have, as well as like go to their vendor quest line, which is a new feature, and then what their favorite items are for newer players who are like, what does that mean? So that we have a new city UI, we have a new character creation experience. Now you can see previews of video of the gameplay of the class. So this is for newer players. Map select experience. So when you select the map, it's updated now to a more intuitive UI, and it will also rotate some of the maps that we're also experimenting with this patch. And then we've added 10 new campaigns. So there's a campaign per map now. We had Greenwood in there, right? And now we have Greenwood Night, we have the Crypt, so now we have campaigns for every map, and then we have a campaign per vendor. And if you recall, in a previous Meet the Devs, I had mentioned there's some feedback of like I get stuck on finding the hammer or the anvil and these things like that. It's kind of frustrating, and so it can be RNG. So now players can also just do the campaign for the vendor, and it really helps you level up the lodge as well as level up or get some goodies for that vendor too. Yeah, so there's that, and then we'll be updating some progression flow as well a little bit, just with drop chances and some things like that. So yeah, that's most of what's in season 3 there, and then I forget what the next slide is.
I think
Maybe
demo
it's
is
a demo
next.
slide.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we could see if Andre could the
could.
client and kind of show off some things, but
Yes, sir. Let me turn my screen off for just 1 second. Do you want to do Q&A while?
Yeah, perfect. I
go
can do
around,
that.
or what do you prefer?
Yeah. All right. So you guys can raise your hands if you have any questions as normal, and feel free to ask anything, especially folks who have questions about the wizard too, because we're kind of combining that here.
Oh, it looks like we just pushed a new build, so I have to update. So just give me a second.
Oh, okay.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Yo.
Yep.
Yes. Good to hear.
So I think everyone's kind of have this question in mind for them. How's the retrieval of the items of the safe is gonna be, uh, like, done? Like, when do we get to claim them?
Yeah, good question. So we were just talking about this in the office yesterday. Uh, there's a few options we could have done, which is give it to you like through the mailbox day one, or you have to unlock the safe again to unlock them. And since we've gotten feedback that people thought the safe was super strong and these sort of things, we actually decided that you have to unlock the safe in the next season to open it to get the stuff out. And we'll test that first and see how that goes. And then if it feels too much, then we could talk about refunding it or just giving it through the mailbox or something. So that's how it's going to work, is that you level up to get the safe, and then you can get everything out. I think just at level 1. So
So like, what you're saying is we do have to unlock the module for the safe in order to get the items out. Okay. Because
that's
like
right.
my thought process behind that is most people probably stack things that would help them jumpstart the season. But if you only get that once you acquire the dial from the Chronicle, that kind of hints at your vendors and your lodge having to already be maxed out. So it doesn't exactly make sense to really pull many things out of the said safe.
Yeah, it's true. It's just that if you did put items in there that, like you said, that are like really important for like leveling up to like say 1 to 20 or something like that, then it could be less valuable there. But we'll see, because I'm not quite sure what every item player is going to put in there. Some may also put items that are more of like end game or end tier, right? Which may be legendary shards or something like that, right? Which you can maybe argue that you could also use that while leveling up, but you also have to level up I think some of the you have to level up some of the other modules to even be able to use those materials. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe not legendary, but like epic shards or something like that.
Okay, and then one quick question. I know 2 questions bad. Everybody's gonna hate this. But when it comes to production modules in the lodge, namely, say, cloth production and leather production, is there any chance we can get more control over the output section of it? Mainly because when we're crafting things, materials are being taken from the output section, but the game doesn't like consistently take them from the same square. And it ends up being, say, green cloth taking up 2 spaces that could be merged together into 1 stack. And I would have that extra space that I might, desperately need for other materials to be made. And on top of that, any materials that I have in the output section and in my stash is going to be cluttered with those output materials. So would there be any way that we can actually store our materials that correspond with the said module in the output section? Like, say I got some cloth that I want to put in the output section, so it's everything's in one place and there's no clutter in the stash.
Yeah, I completely understand. Yeah, we'll discuss that. There's probably at least a technical challenge with doing that right now, but it's also essentially all the outputs then become kind of like a pseudo storage, and then do we allow you to put like any item that in there, or is it just only cloth related things? Yeah, yeah, for sure. We'll write this one down.
Yeah, my suggestion would be just like that specific module output things. Like for Bloom, it's only cloth items. Yeah.
Yeah, there are some times where I took stuff out accidentally, and I was like, oh, I don't think you can put it back in there.
I've been there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the answers.
Okay. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna call another person up. Is that okay, Andre?
Yeah. What should I? Okay. I'm almost there. I'm connecting now. Should I show the arena, or do I show just Greenwood or something like that?
If you're able to queue into the arena, because you'll probably need someone else on the team.
Yeah, if someone in the team wants to queue arena, a 1v1, you can could show off. Like we could show that off.
Yeah, maybe Mel could do that, but he'll have to download the patch too.
Yeah.
Maybe just go to Goldbrook or something.
Sure.
All right, hello.
Hello.
Schmigus.
Alright, sorry, I didn't know if you were going to go to the preview, not or to me. I apologize about that.
That's okay. It's okay. Yeah, go for it.
I only had 2 quick questions for today. Excited for the updates. The one of them is sort of the visual clarity. I only play Wizard, but even like watching Priests, and some of the spells are... Our yard team has done fantastic work, but sometimes there's just a lot of visual clutter. Like they add the embers that sort of stay on a body. You have to hit them with like a fireball. If you blink in, you're like surrounded by these floating embers, but nothing's happened there for like 3 or 4 seconds. Or like the just sort of with the level of visual clarity versus like how cool things look, and making it easy for players to still see what's going on, especially when you're fighting in the dark maps.
And yeah, there was some in particular I noticed. So we've been using, obviously, observing reading the feedback everyone is giving for in the new feedback portal, and there was one on this particular situation where wizards just have so much VFX it's hard for them to see, or vice versa. And I know we did do some updates to that, so it is something that we're working on. It's always good to have specific examples, so you can kind of take a look at them. But in general, we are planning on doing a pass on them to kind of tone some of them down. So yeah, that's good feedback. Yeah, I wrote that down.
So yeah, that's wonderful to hear. Like I can say, if I'm looking up at someone who's in a black area and my ley line is there, you just can't see anything because your screen's full of blue.
Yeah.
And then onto the other question, all the stuff coming out, it's awesome, like the arena system. I'm excited about the campaigns, but do you guys have any sort of other things or stuff you've been working on to sort of add some variety to the main maps? Like any additions or updates? I know there's the loot stuff coming, but anything in the works that you guys have been sort of hint about with changes to those main maps?
Yeah, so this milestone, we didn't get a chance to do the actual changes, but we made the ability to, which is to do dynamic events or spawning in the zones. And so that's something we're going to do, work on this milestone now while during season 3, and then for Gold Master. But we did update some of the maps for this patch. Like, for example, I think in the crypts we added these urns that you can destroy, and they have loot in them. And I think we added like a mini boss in the crypt, and then also put the ogre back into Greenwood Night. So we did update some of the maps spawning a little bit, and there are some new recipes and cooking things, cooking recipes and other recipes that you can craft as well. So, but yeah, I agree. Like, this is feedback we get every Meet the Devs, is about having like this dynamic variety in the map, which there aren't many extraction games out there, right? But I think it does make a lot of sense for the genre, and we're kind of like in this early one of the few games that are building this type of experience. So it's cool that we kind of stumbled upon this opportunity. So yeah, we are going to be working on this milestone, and hopefully get at least some of that in there for Gold Master.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It's wonderful hearing that note, and I'm excited to test that stuff out when you guys get your fingers wrapped around it. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the questions.
A little update. So we just pushed a new build that I can't join any map, but I can join like a little bit of an older build. It's not too old, so just give me one more second.
Okay, we'll keep. This is fine. I'll keep bringing people up.
All right. More shaders to compile.
Shadow. Ooh. Okay, I also invited Jiggly, but we'll go with Shadow first.
Hey guys, how's it going? Been loving the game. Literally a one-trick wizard. Over 400 hours, I haven't stopped. So I'm super hyped about the name of the weapon and the new set. So my only thing is that I've noticed from playing Wizard all this time is that we're kind of like forced into a specific build, you know, like using Rewind and Tornado into the full combo thing. So my question is, because I've been having fun playing the Gravwell with Frost. I know you guys said you're going to add new spells and stuff, but is it a potential that that spell might get reworked where it's a little more viable?
Which one did you say?
The Gravwell, the one that you drop a Gravwell and it sucks everybody in, but it feels like you could just evade out of it.
Yeah, well, good. It's good feedback on that one. Yeah, we're gonna. So one of the goals during this milestone is we want to update a lot of the different perks and stuff like that on the various weapons and armor to kind of make a lot of different builds possible. In my experience, though, the Gravity Well is one that a lot of people do take, although I guess it just depends on your build. We actually have a perk that I think which is the one that's on the Frost set. Well, I don't know if we're gonna do that 100%. Maybe we should mention it. But yeah, there's some perks that affect some of the other spells, not Gravity Well yet. But yeah, I wrote that down though. Which so you do play with the Frost weapon with Gravity Well, and you feel like Gravity Well isn't as strong?
So yeah, like usually it would roam around like me having to go in, Frost Nova, drop the Gravwell, try to Tornado, but by the time I go to NATO from the animation of the Gravwell, I catch a lot of people able to evade out before I'm even able to get the combo going.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And my other thing, because now knowing the next weapon might be a lightning something, now the thing kind of leads to the whole stasis thing, because this is a conversation I actually had with a buddy of mine when we were talking about potential weapons that could come out and lightning came up. So I could see the whole stasis thing becoming a little overpowered and could be a problem because, you know, being able to control when stasis lock happens, it's another free stun that could add on to the, you know, NATO and maybe any other spell that we could chain off that may come out. So
yeah,
is there like a plan to probably weaken how quick stasis builds up?
Yeah, you're just saying to get, so you're saying nerf stasis build up to make the gameplay more interesting?
Especially if you're going to add a lightning weapon, because I feel like being able to control when you're going to stun somebody, it's going to be very overpowered. Kind of like, you know, when Wizard came out the first time, it was really overpowered. So I think with us having the ability to time our stasis lock with any other spell, it's going to be pretty disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, we will revisit basically the affliction build up and a number of different things when we get that new weapon, for sure. So yeah, don't worry, it won't be too OP, but it'll be fun and good too. So
Sweet. So this is one last question I have. So I like the whole concept of the arena mode and things like that. Now my question is the, you know, is it going to be like preset gear, or are you going to have to grind for your gear? Are there going to be like potential gear brackets or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good question. So for the initial patch for the season 3, we're going to do bring your own gear for it. So you do queue in with your gear, so it kind of makes getting blue gear, getting epic gear, all these things like that matter, because now you can bring them into the arena. And so that's what we're doing first. However, we do want to play with the idea of doing, like, say, preset gear. Sometimes it's an event or a different type of mode. You heard in the beginning of the, or maybe you did it in the beginning of the Meet the Devs, where it's going to rotate some of the modes. So it could also rotate so that, you know, everyone's gear gets set up to a certain value, so it's kind of more balanced or whatever. But I'm gonna do bring your own gear first, and then no bracketing yet. There's no going to be any kind of crazy matchmaking with it just yet. As the player base grows and the game grows, we may expand to add, like, say, MMR or a tournament mode or something like that. But we'll see how it goes.
Alrighty, sweet. That's all I got, guys. Good, keep up the good work.
So thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the question.
Hey Chris, I'm trying to share screen,
nice
but the button's gray. Is there anything you can do about it, like you did last time? Or what should I do? I was happy we didn't have any technical difficulties this time. There's always something.
Yeah, that's weird because you were sharing your screen earlier,
I
right?
was. The button's great. Okay, I'll try to rejoin. See you guys later.
Yeah, try read. It is also gray for me too. That is weird.
It's gray. We're cooked. Can we kick Jiggy Spice
try
just for a
turn the
second and then it
Turn
works.
your
It
camera
works.
off and then turn it back on.
It works. We're back. Of course, the classic. Turn cam on and off.
Okay.
Of course it works.
There we
Makes
are.
sense. All right, so a little bit of a caveat here. So we are missing. So right now, for us to test this weapon, we have to test the arena. I mean, we have preset gear in the arena, which I don't think is going to be the case when the season comes out. But since that's the case, I can't really show the weapon because the preset gear doesn't have the new weapon. So I'm just going to show you guys the arena a little bit, and then I'll go into like a Greenwood or something and craft the weapon, and I'll show you like the weapon there as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna like run through the arena a little bit and fight Joe here. And you can keep taking questions or whatever you prefer.
Yeah, it's funny. We got a lot of like feedback. People like the wood on the boards. Yeah,
Oh.
I think it's the same wood that we just use. I don't know, but yeah, it came out really great. And we also, the collision in it is also excellent. We spent a lot of time looking at, because this is something I had to do on the WoW arenas, is like make sure there's not this little spot where you can't attack somebody or blah blah blah. So yeah. Yeah, what's really fun in the game, right, is that we do have all this. We have vaulting and these, and the world isn't just a static backdrop. So there's a lot of like interesting plays that you could do, especially with the new weapon with the rogue, and also with wizards who can kind of who can blink around, and the priests who can ascend. So there's a lot of fun, interesting plays. I'm really excited to see. And yeah, there's two layers here. There's this bottom part with the 4 pillars, and then there's also, the little bridge area.
Yeah. This man is relentless, actually trying to kill me. Help! Okay, it's over. This is what happens when you lose a game, guys. Okay, this is what it looks like when you lose a round. So we have best of 3. There's, since this is
Oh
a bit
yeah,
of
this
an
is
older,
like the starting area here.
yeah, this is a bit of an older build, so some of the UI elements are a bit bugged. Like you can see on top there where the clock is, that's an older kind of a bugged UI. But you can, 99% of it is there. This is the starting area.
Yep.
You got a couple of seconds to like prep up, and then the gates open, then the gates close. You can't, if you decide to stay here, you get teleported out, so you can't just chill here forever. So yeah, for me to lock in, put me on a wizard. Oh, he's RPing now. Are we RPing or are we fighting? What are we doing?
Yeah, Joe is a rogue main, so it's kind of unfair.
Joe is a bit of an animal. Okay, a bit of a dead animal.
Yeah, maybe Jiggly, do you have a question?
Yeah. Hey, by the way.
Hi.
My question was just about the drop rates and loot in general for the new season. Has anything been changed there?
Yeah, so there are going to be some changes there. We may put it in the patch notes. Part of it is we kind of want to sense and see what how the community feels about it and how it feels, rather than what the raw number is. But yeah, we are the North Stars. We just want to make the game so loot drops a little bit more, and like it's easier to progress, and things aren't as rare, especially in the lower end of like greens, blues. So yeah, and I know you could also disenchant legendaries as well. That's another change that we added. Yeah, I don't know if John wants to come up to talk about it. I'll give him the option.
That sounds good though, because I think green gear at least, every veteran player gets green gear within a few hours of every season. but new players, they get really attached and really devastated when they lose it, especially in like
Yeah.
day 1, day 2. So I feel
No,
like
I
that's
getcha.
a big
Yeah.
barrier to entry. Yeah.
Yeah, so it is something that we're going to do. I don't know complete details on yet. It's still something we're kind of tuning, and then I'm not sure if we're going to just completely announce all the numbers, but that is the goal. Yeah. So maybe soon we can give some more details on that.
All right, great. Then that's all I have. Thank
Awesome.
you for
Thanks for the
bringing me up.
question. All right. Let's bring up AB.
Hello guys.
Yo.
What up?
I have multiple questions, small ones as well. First of all, will we have the loom or the lodge actually fixed? Will it work how it's supposed to work?
Say
Like
that
the
one more time.
auto-crafting.
What?
The lodge. The lodge.
Oh, the lodge. Okay. Which part of it? You mean kind of like
Well-
where the modules don't craft when you're in a session? That one?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, we have a fix for that. It's very hard to test though because we have to do it in like a live environment, and so we'll see if it gets fixed. But if not, it's one of our goals to patch and fix this season. It made it really tricky to do any patches last season because that's why we didn't really do any. Is because we switched the engine version, and so you can't really patch. It's really hard to patch an older build. So. Yeah, so anyway, it's our goal to, if it isn't fixed at release, that it will be fixed this season. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And will we eventually maybe have a leaderboard for the actual extraction mode, not only the arena?
Yeah, so there is a leaderboard for the extraction mode, which is essentially gathering items. So it's
Yeah, true.
you know,
Yeah.
it's total score of loot that you successfully extract with. So that's the first one, but we're open to suggestions on what people think would be fun leaderboards to have with the extraction maps. Do you have anything that springs to mind?
Well, as a competitive player, I thought about KD, but maybe the loot is
Yeah.
a better thing, but who knows? And maybe we could even have like subdivisions for each class, at least in the arena, to, for example, if one class is really weak comparatively, they will never be top 50, but you can actually see the best player of each class, so to say. That would also be cool.
Yeah, okay. I wrote those ones down. We do plan on having subdivisions or subcategories for classes for sure. But yeah, we could look at doing the kill, death, KD in the extraction mode, and maybe you could select different maps with classes in that one too.
Yeah. So, final question, if I may ask, is what do you think about current, like whenever I play a ranged character and I have a melee character coming onwards me in combat, they usually just sheath their weapon, run at me, and evade attack out of thin air. And that's like wins on repeat, especially if you watch like a sword and board player, priest. Their whole playstyle is just sheathing the weapon, running without stamina cost, and using their evade attack. And they don't even have to have like any stamina consumption for some reason. So higher level players, really high level players, I would say, just permanently spam this on every class, I would say, every melee class especially. And it's really unfun, or like, it's hard to counter because, yeah, well, not because, it's just really bad. Sprint attack, I mean, not evade attack.
Yeah, it's a good point. That's something we should like talk about. Yeah, essentially what they do is they sheath their weapon and then they could sprint for free to initiate. Yeah, we have to talk about that one. I wonder if like, because I mean, part of what you could do is you could just hit them at range somehow to knock them into combat, basically, right? You know, cancel that effect. Does it do
To some
that currently?
extent.
Not yet. Yeah.
Well, some weapons do trigger the combat stance, but for example, Scepter or Staff Priest do not. Or like, I don't know about Swiftbow, but some hits do trigger the combat stance, so they would actually take out the weapon, yeah. And then on top of that, the issue is, for example, warriors can still cancel the animation to sheath weapon, so it's also instant. It's another problem, I would say. But yeah, hitting them is not always as easy because they run super speed, right? Especially if you have, for example, the tap stun from the priest. They can just outrun it by doing nothing, by just essentially pressing W.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll talk about that. I know Troy is out today, but he's in the audience. But it's something we'll talk about for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. That were all my questions for today.
Awesome. All right. All right. Let's see. I'll bring up Arcavian.
What's up, guys?
Yo.
Good.
I just had one question, basically. You said that you were going to start doing marketing this season, but could you go in detail at all, or give us any kind of specifics as to what kind of routes you're going to be taking to market this game, or how much, or not how much, what steps you're going to be taking?
Yeah, so we are going to market this season, and part of the goal is to like test some of the marketing to see how it does. And this is kind of most important for the Gold Master release, when we're going to spend most of the marketing budget that we have. So I mean, essentially what it's going to be is a lot of what they call like performance marketing, which is like you advertise on Reddit, like on Facebook and all these other different channels, TikTok, and kind of you just do these marketing experiments, and you kind of measure the results, and then we kind of know like where the best kind of avenues that we have for marketing. Then we can make the best decisions when we spend more money, right? So that's what we're doing. We usually get really good results, for example, when we Reddit or advertise on Reddit in particular. So I know we're going to also do that. Yeah, so that's kind of the plans. For Gold Master, we may do more like creative marketing. Like I don't have anything to share just yet, but some other ways to like reach audiences that we may not reach just on the traditional marketing, right? Is there a way that you think we should market the game? I guess
I've never really done this type of stuff before, like, so I have no idea, honestly. I was just curious to what steps people have been asking me and saying, like, are they gonna OTK, are you guys gonna have Asmongold or other individuals come from OTK to play the game or something? Like, I have no idea what the steps would take. I was just curious, but whatever steps that you guys do decide to take, is there like a player count or something that you're aiming for or hoping for, or like a bar of where you've reached and you feel like it was a successful campaign of season 3?
Maybe a better question for Sung, but for me personally, I think our goal is just for every season to increase from the previous one, like in peak. And that happened right with the gold or early access release of the game, and then season 1. It didn't happen with season 2 because we didn't do marketing. So if season 3 is like comparably of season 1 or a little bit higher than season 1, I think that's a success. But it's really hard to market games. It's really hard to like pierce through the noise. So we'll just have to see. But that's my own, like, I think our own thing that we should just try to target is just like ourselves and our own kind of performance, and just try to improve slightly each time. I think that makes a lot of sense. A good North Star is like, if you look at like Path of Exile, like the Path of Exile 1, and if you look at their concurrency when they released the game, I think it was like a Kickstarter game in the very beginning, right? They were still pretty successful. The concurrency, I think it was probably like 6K or 8K or 10K or something like that when they first came out. But then it kind of slowly grew and grew and grew each season, each time. So I think that's like a good North Star for any kind of new game, is to just kind of slowly grow over time. So
the goal would be to be around the same numbers, or at least better than season 1, or you're trying to just beat season 2?
I think like minimum. I think I just think trying to slowly grow it. At the Gold Master release, that's different. I don't know. I don't really have a good like metric to go with that, but it's some combination of not just PC but the console release too on PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah, I also think a good healthy number of players, just so that matches feel fresh and fun, is a good goal, rather than say some theoretical number.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, no problem. Love you guys.
All right, thank you.
I'm finally showing the weapon, but I will say this is a bit of an older build than I even thought. So you'll see some really weird things, like these like balls flying. That's not supposed to be there. Yeah, you'll see some weird stuff. You'll see the damage being, especially block damage, being absolutely insane. That's fixed. A lot of these things are fixed already. So there's a lot of like wrong things in this preview. Like the chain doesn't look like a chain; it's just a cylinder. Yeah, it's a bit of an older build because, like I said, in the current build we have a problem where I just can't select the maps.
All right, I invited Flander.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, I'm on a little bit of spotty connection. Absolute W patch, guys. Love the update. Incredible work. I have 2 wizard questions, specifically Fire Wizard. So I did a little bit of a testing about the combo and stuff, and I figured that the scaling of the fireball is non-linear, and it's kind of feels like has some sort of like hard-coded values. I made a big feedback post. I'm not sure if you saw that already or not, but I'm curious if that was like the idea, the design of it, or maybe it's like some sort of like accidental stuff, like the math part of it.
When you mean hard-coded, like what exactly are you talking about? The levels, the charge levels, or what? Which part?
Yeah, basically the percentage of the damage scaling per charge level. So if we break it down to 4 levels, like level 1 is a tap, then when you hold it's like 1, 2, and 3, which is like 3 is like the fully cooked. The percentage per level, the scaling percentage per level is not linear, so it's different, and it has like
The reason
so it's not intended, right?
Well, initially it did start as linear, but I think what happened, I'm not 100% sure that this is the case, but I think what happened was over time as we balanced things out, we kind of broke away from that because we wanted the biggest cooked one to be, definitely strong, but not like 4 times stronger than the other. I think at some point we kind of that's my theory at least. I wish Troy was here. But I can check. Does it feel like a bug to you, or what's the problem with it? Does it feel wrong?
Well, it feels wrong actually, because when you look at a fully cooked one, it's like around 4 times more than a tap, but the
Being compromised.
yes,
You're lagging out a
scaling
little bit
of
from
like
you.
a level 2 charge to level 3 is like you're getting. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, the charge.
You cut out at the most important.
I don't know.
Your sentence.
I'm sorry, guys. Well, the numbers are in the post, but I was just like, my question was like, was it intended to be non-linear or not? But if you want to check numbers, they are there in the feedback.
Troy's saying it's supposed to curve a little bit.
My network.
Excellent, he says. So maybe there is a bug element there. Yeah, we'll check it out then.
Yeah. So basically, the fully cooked fireball at the end does like 20+% more scaling damage than the rest of those, and they're like jumping in values. And it affects the fully cooked fireball with overcharge the most. That might cause problems for the combo doing too much damage.
Yeah, that might be a bug then.
Okay. Second question, real quick one. Will you guys consider kind of revisiting the idea of fire, like as a weapon to be maybe like shift a little bit of a damage from like direct bursty damage to some burn type of thing?
Oh,
Sorry, I can't understand. Change it to do a burn? What do you mean by that?
Like right now, the wizard does a lot of like raw damage, right? Like combo, direct damage, combustion does direct damage. But sorry, fireball has some burn effect that is like very not that big, but it's okay. But
Yeah,
I was
goes off,
thinking, will it be a good idea to just shift some of portion of direct damage that fire does right now and convert it into some bigger burn effect that does more damage, or like, you know, maybe even like change the combustion from doing like that massive explosion to apply some burn that kind of burns the person, so like you set people on fire, you know.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I haven't really thought about that. They kind of have so many like little interactions with fire staff right now, with like burning and like the affliction and like combustion, that I kind of get nervous about adding too many of those, because you're like, well, which one's which, right? So, but anyway, it's an interesting idea. Yeah, I wrote it down. We'll think about that.
Yeah, thank you guys. Sorry for my connection. Keep up the
That's
good
okay.
work. You're doing great.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks for the questions.
Thank you.
Right.
It's good to see we're not the only ones with technical issues. Still included. Thanks. Compromising.
All right, so we could probably take a couple more questions.
Sure.
Let's get Wiz up. The feedback leaderboard
Hey
champion.
guys,
Yeah, what up?
can you hear me well? I'm on my phone.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I also have some wizard-related questions, mainly to the fire wizard. There was quite some discussions about this in the general and in the wizard channels. Currently, there is the spell with shoulders that give you the overload, even though you are having the insta-fireball snap selected. And people kind of think that it's too broken to give a complete spell to the trait of a cloth armor. So the question was if you want to keep this like that, or are you also playing around with the traits on this gear, or yeah? Because it's basically giving.
You're asking about the shoulder pads that give you overload when you teleport someone back?
Yes, basically you're getting one more spell for free, kind of.
I can answer that because I know what's coming, but I see Troy's here, but I see he's also muted.
No, I'm here. I just figured it's noisy. Is it noisy in the background?
Oh yeah. But it's
I got a noise canceling mic. Oh god. I'll make this also again. So the shoulders, we talked a lot about different solutions. Like one of them was you get because one of the big problems, right, is that if you get a crit, you get a 30% damage bonus, and then Overlord also gives a 30% damage bonus. So when you hit it big, you get both at the same time, and which is at least like a 60% damage bonus. So what we're doing for now is we're going to make it where after the time work, you get a crit on the next skill, which is it's a little bit of a nerf, but it's not like a huge one. The bigger nerfs would be and we talked about this, would be like if you only get the movement effect of overload, but you don't get the damage, or if you get like a lesser overload where the damage buff is only like 10% or something. But we just decided against that for now because we thought it might be a little bit too confusing and not like, it's just going to change to make it for the next thing, which is only a slight thing. So we're kind of starting like that.
I can translate if people didn't get it. So basically, yeah, we're addressing that trait dispatch, and it's no longer going to give you overload. Instead, it's going to make your next charge shot guaranteed crit. So it's still going to be kind of the same combo. It's going to be still, in a lot of cases, it's going to be just as strong, but you can double dip to get a crit and overload, which would be 30% plus 30%, and then you just one-tap people. But you will get a lane
So
line.
you basically make it more one-shotty, but
I'd say it's less one-shotty, because the overload gives 30% damage, and then the crit would give 30% damage as well. And the biggest problem is when you get a crit on top of that.
Okay, and the casting iframes will go, or you keep them.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that goes. You don't have that. So
Yeah.
It
Okay,
no longer
okay.
gives you the overload skill. It just gives you a buff on yourself that says next shot is a crit. You still have to well, you still have to charge it, I was gonna say, but I know the combo is to play with overcharge and just one-tap people.
Okay, got it. And the second one was more or less for the Frost Wizard. I think we had some questions today already about the Graphwell and so on and so forth. And also about the visual clutter. A lot of this is also reflected in my feedback post, so nice to hear that you guys are considering this and are working on this. But one more thing that came to my mind is I made a post sometime back that there is no half charge shot on the Frost. So basically you can only tap or fully charge. And it feels really bad kind of in the current state. You don't have a block. You need to decide, do you want to shoot or not? And if you let go in between, you're basically rewarded with a tap shot, which feels really bad. And the question was if you could add something like a half charged to the Frost.
I feel like if we start adding multiple charge levels to the Frost weapon, it would tend to just become more and more similar to the Fire weapon. The new set we're adding it's gonna make Frost weapon probably too broken. I don't know if we want to say exactly what perks it's gonna have. I mean, we could say what perks it's gonna have, but it's I don't know. I think to me personally it feels good that you have to either commit, or if you couldn't commit you get at least you get something. You get a tap version. But yeah, we'll keep listening to feedback. If people want that, leak it. That's a Chris question. I can leak some just copy pasta the text. But it's up to Chris. Or you guys can wait a few more days.
Yeah, let's just wait because we're still kind of 100% finalizing them. So, but yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Sorry,
that's it from my side.
All right,
Thanks
you.
for the
Thanks for
answers.
all the help on the feedback form. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
All right. Thank you. All right. We're at the hour, but let's just do at least one or two more. Let's see. Raggy. Yo, what up? Can you hear us? Well, let me bring Mike up. And if Raggy gets back, then.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Yeah, what up?
Nothing much. Just got off of work. I'm late to I was 30 minutes into it when I started watching it. Who was it that created this new rogue weapon? Do you know?
Well, it was a group effort.
Okay.
But yeah.
Hey, y'all did a good job, man. I'm really in love with this weapon. I'm not gonna lie. Before y'all even, when y'all first mentioned this was a new rogue weapon is coming, months and months ago, before we even knew what it was, I was like, man, I hope it's a sickle type chain ninja type thing. And I was really excited when it turned out to be, because growing up, my favorite games was rogues and ninja stuff. So I feel like both the best worlds. So that's really fun. So kudos to y'all. Y'all creations are just out of this world. I've never seen it in any game, and I'm almost 34 years old, so it's really impressive. So I hope y'all really feel that from me. And I'm excited to see what this is capable of fighting every other class. And that's about it. I didn't want to say too many questions because, I already asked questions before. And, just wanted to give y'all props on that one. Rena looks amazing, by the way. And, yeah, I can't wait this new season. So thanks for letting me talk again. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll I think a lot of teams in the audience, but if not, I'll let them know. Yeah, I agree. I think it came out great. All right. Hey, Raggy, are you back?
Hey, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
Oh, go for it. Did you have a question?
Yeah, and my question is about the hunter specifically, and the weapons, and maps. In that regard, that I feel like the medium and longbow gets a bit punished from these close quarters. Like we had deathmatch a long time now, so you had to fiddle around with all the weapons, and you end up usually spending your time on the light bow because that's the only weapon you can chase people with as a hunter. I just want to ask if there's anything gonna change to the longbow, medium bow, to change the fact that the only reason or the only way to fight people effectively is just standing on top of your traps, not hunting people or chasing people. Because in that role, you can't. Like on every map, if you close the door on a hunter, you would get a free reset. If that's a question at all that can be answered.
Yeah, basically, kind of, I think your question was like about the weapons and the maps and kind of like how they perform in like the extraction map and the large open world versus the arena. Like, what is kind of the thoughts on how viable they are and if there any changes are going to be done to like the medium bow and maybe just the long bow because of that. Is that basically kind of your question?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very curious to kind of see how the hunter does in the arena map in general. I mean, one question that we had last Meet the Devs, I think it was what are you designing the game for? Like, is it supposed to be 1v1 arena? Is it supposed to be for the extraction map? Is it 2v2? What is it, right? And we don't have necessarily one mode in the game that we're designing for. The goal is to try to make sure that classes can be viable in all the different experiences in the game, which is PvE, arena, the open world, etc. And it's up to the player to kind of adapt with their gear set and their weapon and these sort of things for it. It's impossible to make every weapon and every build viable in all parts of the game equally. Like, it's just not going to happen. So it may mean that, like, say the longbow is really good in the extraction map in really open world areas, but not so great like in close quarters like the arena. That said, I can't say for sure because we just need the community to play it and kind of see. It could mean like, well, you have the hunter. One strategy you could do right with the hunter is you just have the hunter at one area of the map shooting people, and then you have your rest of your team at different other parts, right? If it's going to be a group thing, and you can't kill them all or protect yourself against them all, and so you have to kind of make a choice. Do we all go into the hunter, or we just split, or whatever, right? So I don't know. It's impossible for me to kind of really say, but when we have a problem is if we have a weapon or something like that and it's not useful in any parts of the game, that's a problem, or say a perk or an armor set. And so that's something that we would address. So from my own kind of like guesses right now is that the hunter would be with the longbow would be best in the open world and extraction maps. In the arena, it would be best if it would be swift bow or maybe the medium bow. But we'll kind of see an experiment with that, and it's really kind of the goal with this patch to do that is to really hone in on some of the balance and the meta in the game and do some changes and updates before we release Gold Master.
Okay, because you touched on my next subject that I wanted to bring up is like,
okay,
there is such a huge difference between playing with a partner and playing solo as a hunter.
Yeah.
Because if you want kill potential, you're forced as a medium player to take Sentinel Strike, right? Picking something else just grieves you. It's just how it feels when you play the game, right? But when you have a partner that disrupts your flow for a second or two, it changes the dynamic of the hunter. Because then all of a sudden you can chase. Not just defend yourself, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can understand that, and it's hard to really comment on exactly without putting it all sort of in context and kind of thinking through like what builds and what kind of weapons and stuff are viable and not, and these sort of things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have the answer just yet. I'm really anxious for us to playtest in this season so that we can kind of really surface any kind of issues or balances things with the game. And our goal in the past has been really to get all the features into the game. And so now, once this is settling, now we have more time to just kind of focus on, my kind of favorite part, which is class combat.
Yeah, I'll just still say that I'm so grateful for having you bringing me up here. Let me pick your brain a little bit. My frustration, my questions. I'm still gonna play my medium bow and try to figure it out. How this.
Yeah, that's the bow I play. I play hunter a lot, and I just like the feel of medium bow. It's it's a medium. It's in between the two spectrums. So, yeah. But I'll listen. I'll out for any feedback that you have this season, and yeah.
Thank you so much for the game as well. It's amazing.
Awesome. Well, really appreciate it. Thank you for the question.
Goodbye, guys.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. All right. Let's bring up Scout because he was asking. He had some question.
Hello. Quick one
Scout.
question about stash management. Can we have like stash management from Pass of Exile? Well, every stash have affinities, or at least every reagent, every item have their own spot, so we can automatically put them and don't spend like 10 minutes after raid to play Tetris in your stash. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we get this question a lot, and it's definitely one of our priorities. We looked at doing it actually for this season, but it would require us to like kind of rewrite the stash code or part of it, and so we thought it would be too high risk with doing the engine update. But it is on our list, and we would like to do, hopefully we can get some improvements there for Gold Master. That is kind of the idea. We have these ideas of having different containers that you can kind of say, hey, all of my food goes to this container, or all of my gear goes to this container, which you get a little bit with the if you guys have the one of the founder editions has a container that only holds armor, and so usually that could have a preference or an affinity, kind of like how PoE calls it, to go to those containers. So yeah, there's obviously our game is a very progression stash heavy game, and so it's a goal for us to really optimize all of that.
Okay, thank you for the answer. Great game, good job.
Awesome. All right, I'm glad you got your question there. It's a good one because it often comes up so often. All right, guys, I think we're at the end. However, Andre, could you go back to the deck? There was like 2 more slides in there.
Yeah.
Someone really wanted me to show one of them.
It's a whole process.
Yeah, no rush.
The present button is not working. Oh, I can't share screen again. Do I have to turn my cam on and off again? Is that how this works?
Oh, try now.
Nope, I gotta do it as well, I think.
Okay, there you go.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Discord, mysteries of Discord.
Cool little feature. Alright, so we were past the demo.
Okay, yeah, I can go to this next slide here. And this is kind of what I've already been talking about. So if we think about the roadmap of the game right now, we are releasing season 3 here in October, and then during Gold Master we're going to be working on the final features for the game, which is the Paladin. We have the Lair of Morthog, which is a PvE dungeon, and then the console release, and then we have another little surprise feature in there that we don't want to talk about just yet. So that's kind of the North Star, what we're working on. Sometime in early next year. Don't hold me to this date here. It's going to be sometime early next year. And then during Gold Master here, we're going to be patching up some updates of classes and progression as we tune things in the live game. So we really are anxious to hear everyone's feedback on class balance and then also on progression and doing some improvements there. So and there's other things not on the roadmap as well that we will be adding. These are just like the main things here. Yeah. So you can go to the next slide now, Andre.
Because what is a confidential, not distribute, but we're showing it publicly.
Yeah, I copied this from a confidential deck. So yeah. Anyway, Sung wanted me to share this. We are going to do Twitch drops again. And so there's these 3 little like festive boxes here with some goodies there. So this is going to be on October 24th through November 3rd. Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
Season 3.
All right.
Very soon. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Well. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate everyone's support and look to see you in the game next week.
Later.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.